A bee crashed into my pants while I was biking and left this pollen spot. Oh, poor guy. He was going as fast as his little bee brain could take him, and he crash landed. This duster at work looks like Marge Simpson. And that it does. That it absolutely, positively does. What a great little duster. Now I need one that looks like the rest of the Simpsons family. This is like picture perfect Marge. I found a wallet on a Saturday. I left a note in a way so only the real owner could contact me. Putting together scavenger hunts. Black wallet found. You can contact me by solving this equation. 030532468. Your birthday, my phone number. On Monday, I will deliver it to the police station. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was last year. I found a wallet on a Saturday morning, so police stations were closed. Even if I left it in their mailbox, it couldn't have been retrieved until Monday. The wallet had their ID, but I couldn't find their contact info. So I left this note near the spot I found it to give the owner a chance to contact me and get the wallet back earlier, without revealing my info to the public and to prevent random people calling me trying to get the wallet. They contacted me later that day and I verified them with the ID. I also asked the person to not share the contents of the note anywhere. Wow. First of all, how do you even come up with this? Okay, so I was curious and I looked up the post and people had a lot to say about it. And I wanted to read this thread to you because I thought this was fascinating. From Miyagi Son, that's very interesting. So assuming the person is older than 18 and younger than 95, there's about 28,000 possible combinations. And then we start deducting or investigating. Coffee Shop Jesus says, the most common birth month is September, so start there. Also considering that it's in Finland, it's a male wallet, median male age being 42, most common birth date being 24th of August, most common months being August and September, a good first guess would be 240, and they grabbed that's just a number. 2408, 1983. And then necessary eggplant comes in. Quick Google search says most Finnish numbers start with 04, meaning it's between the 10th and the 19th in the month. My bet is it's the 19th, because O above the second D is a bit of an odd choice. Looks like it was the easiest way to make sure nothing is carried over to the left/next number, as it has to be 4. Could be a 0 though. And so now we're pretty confident it's the 19th of XX19XX, okay? Second Y, we'll go to the image again so you guys can see what we're looking at. I am streaming this, so I'm talking to chat here, by the way. So we have a second Y. It's most likely 4 plus 1, as the person was probably not born in the first 3 decades of the century, meaning 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 is the third Y. For the last Y, I don't have an idea. The first M has to be 0 or 1, and nothing is carried to the left, but odds are 1 to 6 in the favor of 0. For the second M, I don't have any ideas. It's not 0 though. There. Now we have 450 possible combinations. Starting with these demographic averages first, we'd call that number in a few hours. Jesus Christ. The way they broke that encryption so fast. And another user named Go Stalk Yourself commented about how interesting it is to go down the rabbit hole of how hackers, like early hackers, were successful through mostly social engineering. And there was one person who got into some telephone service by calling the service, getting put on hold, and then recording the hold service, then calling someone else and putting them on hold and playing the recording to make them believe it was an internal call. Someone else had gotten bus transfer punches from the city and a bunch of blank passes by claiming it was for a school project. And there was another case in Edmonton where a transit worker stole millions. But the details have been like just wiped. Fascinating stuff, the early world of hacking and breaking things like this. It's just really, really crazy stuff. My dad and his friends overplanned airport carpool schedule. All right, here we go. So this was sent. Guys, Bob's timeline looks good. I've added the rest of the stops for Jim. Leave Jim's at 7:38, arrive at Steve's at 7:50, and leave Steve's at 8 a.m. Arrive at Bob's at 8:20 and leave Bob's by 8:34 a.m. Arrive at Fran's at 8:47 and leave Fran's by 8:52. Arrive fine at 9:22. Arrive United at 9:52. Board at 11:02. Depart at 11:52. See you all in the morning. I mean, not bad. Not bad to have all of this lined up, but if that goes wrong by any stretch of the imagination, you guys have thrown off all of your depart and boarding times. You aren't gonna make that flight. You gotta be frame perfect with that plan. My dog only chewed off the green sections of her soccer ball. Oh. Yeah, those are the parts she didn't like, huh? The green section, she just had to chew to shit. She's not a fan of the Hulk. So looking at the ball just a little closer, it looks like the green parts or whatever was, the green parts aren't, the ball wasn't green to begin with. These might have been blue or something else, because that looks like the underside of whatever the stitching is, right? Because dogs can't see the color red too well. So the fun part of the ball was a different color, right? Whatever color the shiny coating was, or the shiny like material was on the top, like how the red and white is, maybe that dog was just a big fan of that color. Whatever that was, big fan of it. Real big fan of that color. My hotel gave me a chocolate vacuum cleaner. Okay, that's fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen this in my life. Chocolate Wait, what? But why? But why specifically a chocolate vacuum cleaner? But for what purpose? For what purpose, I must ask? I'm having a little trouble understanding for why. You know what I mean? I'm not quite, like, I understand it's gonna be delicious, right? It's free chocolate. But why the vacuum cleaner? Are they well known for their cleanliness? So well known, in fact, that they have chocolate vacuum cleaners? It just seems interesting. So I found the post, and some guy mentioned, their name is Chinny Chin. Some Hilton hotels I worked at had chocolate available in the shapes that would correlate with a different department, like housekeeping or maintenance or front desk. If you've ever had to go up to the person's room to say clean it, or the maintenance had to go to repair, they always left chocolate that represents their department. That's so, what? But why? I mean, that's interesting. It very much is mildly interesting. But it's also far more confusing than interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like it's their calling card. That's fun. Copper plate has kept the wall below it clean for over 100 years. Damn. Kept it, I mean, clean I wouldn't necessarily say, but free from other elements except for copper, I think I would say. What does this say anyway? This tablet was placed here by the Council of the City of York, October 1898, to record that this point of the wall was in the year 1889 restored to the city by Edwin Gray, who served the office of Lord Mayor in 1958. So we got a little bit of history there. That's a long ass time. And they just kept it there. Why was it moved? Why are we with history? I accidentally created an ear when blowing nacho cheese across a chip. Sorry, you blew nacho cheese? Wow. That is just it. You allowed it to hear. You gave it the gift of one of the, 5 senses. You've created life on that chip. My cat's eyes changed colors over the years. Oh, well, how does that happen? Wait, well, how does a cat, that can happen? What? Sorry, hold on. I'm looking at this. There's a lot of posts like this. I guess it's normal. Very normal. Cat's eyes can just change color. I'm reading this from, it's called Morris Animal Inn, okay? As they age, you may notice your cat's eyes change color once or even multiple times. A majority of kittens are born with blue eyes, and as sight develops, cats' eyes often begin to change and take on a range of different colors, from browns and yellows to greens and oranges and ambers. And this change begins pretty soon, between like 3 to 8 weeks, and then will be done by the time your cat is 3 months old. But in adulthood, if your cat's eye color changes, that might be concerning. So if it's like a sudden color change over a short period of time, that's like an eye infection. That's interesting. So it's like cute and normal when it's a kitten, but if it gets older, that's like a sign of concern that some shit going down with your kitty cat. This container of magnesium uses the Irish flag for the English language. And that they do. Maybe it's made by the Irish. I separated the colors in my water game. Okay, no need for segregation in the game. Kind of fucked up if you ask me. Impressive to have done in the little game, but feels a little hate, it feels like a little, I don't know, not a fan. This took way too much time. Previous homeowners filled in the gap between these doors. They did. They didn't like the gap. They weren't a fan, and they said, let's make it right. I don't know. I don't think I would have minded the gap. You know what I don't like? And maybe it's because I do voice work. I don't like the floors. I would like a carpet in there, please. Not a fan of that one bit. I feel like, I don't know, this feels like such a non-problem that they filled in. And not only that, if you look at it, this little piece, it's filled in there, but this makes it kind of crooked and off center with how these door frames are set up. This should have been like a corner piece. It looks unnatural. Graffiti artists intentionally left markings uncovered on this train car. That's nice. That's considerate. I really like that. That is the most considerate thing I've seen from a graffiti artist. Like, you still wanted to tag your stuff, but you didn't want to like make this is so polite. I really appreciate this. Every time I wear my Galaxy Watch overnight, I get a hive spot where the infrared light hits my wrist. Seems like it's high time to take it off then, right? If it's giving you hives, take it off at night. These translucent / pearlescent Lego bricks from my kid's set. I have never seen pearlescent Lego bricks. Excuse me? I don't think I have ever seen this. These feel like, these are so pretty. And I know it's plastic, but these are gorgeous. But these are the silent killers. You know what I mean? If you stepped on one of these, oh my God, you wouldn't know where it was at first. These are like, you know when thumbtacks have the clear little like push pin? It's like that. I don't know. These are very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this. What would these be used for? These kinds of bricks? You can buy them individually. They're listed as satin trans clear bricks. So I guess maybe for display pieces, right? I guess I just don't know. Cause I'm not a Lego guy. I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know what kind of build these be used for. I'm so confused. I don't know what set these are in. That's very pretty though. My town put up a work zone speed limit sign that's faster than that road's speed limit. So for a work zone, go about 45 miles an hour. When we're not working, drop that by 10, 35 miles per hour only. All right, but when there's men at work, when you could hit someone and send them flying across the street, slam the gas. Old growth lumber versus modern factory farmed lumber. Oh, dude, I actually love how old growth lumber looks. And if you can't tell the difference, here's how you do. The number of rings, the one that has, I'm pretty sure it's the one that has way more. That's the old lumber. It's just the idea of there being like just so much history there, you know? And I was reading this actual post, and there is maybe a little bit of a difference in the lumber. It makes, I think the farmed one is a little bit weaker, but the old growth, like we need old growth forests, you know? It's very necessary. The rings look gorgeous, but we need the old growth. While I was streaming this, someone in my chat, I'm gonna butcher their name, but Masamune JM, also let me know, and this is just a little fun tree fact, a hashtag tree fact for everyone, but the spacing on the rings also depends on the amount of rainfall or I guess water in general that the tree got that year. So if we look at the picture, these rings are pretty close together. I would assume this means this looks like an average rainfall, I'm gonna be so honest. But I guess if these rings were more densely packed, does that mean they would get more rain that year? I'm not sure what that would mean. I think more would mean it's closer, but there's so much history you can get from tree rings, you know what I mean? Okay, as I was wrapping this post up, I found a comment from someone who claims to be a wood technologist. So Few Vermicelli 4901 adds, wood technologist here. Genetic selection and engineering have been used to produce trees that grow faster. Yeah, the wood is still strong. Wood is one of the most amazing materials on Earth. The stuff with tighter growth rings is more dimensionally stable, however, not as prone to twist and warp. The lumber from Canada is most desirable for this reason. On average, it's stronger in bending since more of the microfibers in the cell walls are oriented along the long axis of the tree. Cellulose is the component of wood cells that gives it most of its strength. In faster grown trees, a larger portion of the fibers are oriented in more of a radial direction. All trees have a variability in all three axes: longitudinal, radial, and tangential. Closer to the center of a tree, there is what you call juvenile wood, which is where the microfibers are oriented more radially or tangentially. As the tree grows, it starts producing mature wood, which is stronger. This is different from what makes the rings appear the way they do. Each ring is composed of what is known as spring wood and summer wood or early or late wood. The cell walls get thicker at the end of the growing season, which is what makes that portion of the ring darker. Dopest tree lore, which is, I love the mildly interesting subreddits because I always learn something new, and I try my best to pass that on because I think it's, I don't know, I like leaving these with something new to learn. My yellow onion is actually a red onion in disguise. Ah, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. You thought you'd fool us. No. We have two options, okay? Either we're playing around a TF2 and this was a red spy, or shallot. Make your choice, modern man. Spy in the base or a shallot? I know what I'm going with. One of the rower machines in my gym looks like it's growing algae. Gross. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, it looks, ow, ew. Not a fan of that at all. It really looks yucky. They've put green Gatorade in there. Because that probably is algae. You know what I mean? This is like a water rower that's not not being maintained. But I've never also seen a water rower either. When I see these at the gym I go to, and by go to I mean that I pass on my way to go somewhere else. I've always seen just fan system ones. I feel like these water ones are just, I don't know. It just seems like heavy maintenance to me. Seems not worth the trouble, right? I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. My bin and my neighbors are somehow equidistant from the street lights, so their shadows combine to form one perfect shadow bin in the middle. Oh my God. You guys did a fusion dance. You guys did a fusion dance and formed one perfect shadow bin. And that's the one that's evil. Sheepdog, before and after a little haircut. Oh, you removed all his personality, dude. He looked like such a funny boy before the haircut. Now he just looks confused. Oh man. Finally replaced my shoes that I wore 5 days a week for 5 years with a new pair of the same shoes today. Oh my. You could see all the years of wear and tear, the way the shoe warped to his weird ass foot, the way his foot has that weird ass bend. You see that? That other one's gonna break it. That's gonna break in the same way. 5 years of wear and tear will do that to you. I don't like that his foot's got a banana curve to it. I'm really not a fan of that. He's gotta get that checked out. This restaurant bathroom has 2 different soaps depending on when you wash your hands. Unscented for before eating or scented for after eating. That's considerate. That's like a big ass bill at the restaurant, but you get quality like this. You can't find that anywhere else. I don't think I have ever been into a restaurant. Obviously, you know, like it makes sense why they did this. Because, you know, if you have a scented soap that you're using, you're gonna taste that when you eat, especially if it's a food like a burger, you know, you're gonna taste it on the burger. So it's considerate. I like it. My eyes at 29 after 6 surgeries, 1 in the left eye and 5 in the right. Oh my God. What did you need done? What happened? What happened to your eyes that you needed 5 surgeries? Goodness gracious. Hold on, I found the post. I want to see if they talk about what happened. Okay, so we have the details here. At age 12, they were diagnosed with cataracts and had their first surgery at 13. And then it found out that it was more than just cataracts. Apparently, OP is missing some of their eye structure, which makes it incompatible with routine cataract surgery, okay? So they go to a specialist who had a technique of stitching the lens, but it was temporary. And so more issues sprung up because the eye structure's wrong. But since medicine moves so fast, there's new techniques and types of lens implants every time they visit. So their left eye that has the one surgery has an anterior implant, which is why it's visible, okay? That's why we can see the lines on it. While the one in the right eye is their third intraocular implant. but they could see really well and only need reading glasses. So it ended up working out. And this person goes on, because it's a wild story and I'm really kind of fascinated by this. So their first surgery, since it failed, they were left with no implant in the eye and was basically blind without really stupid thick contacts. And so they pushed for more surgeries. They had to push for 3 of their surgeries because doctors weren't, exactly sure how good the vision would be with an implant considering the circumstances with their eyes. But they're shocked at how well it worked out for them. It's very fascinating. And I wonder, I don't know. Eyes are a fascinating thing to me because it's one of those things where our body doesn't recognize the eye. So they're just a completely different part of the body that it's going on in there that we don't know about. The Taco Bell in my hometown hasn't been updated since the 90s. And I say that's a blessing because this looks dope. I miss old 90s styles like this. There was an old place where I used to go to when I lived in Florida that was kind of like this, that had like this old vibe to it. It's nostalgic. It's nostalgic for something I was too young to experience because I was born at the very tail end of the 90s, so I wouldn't be around for that, you know what I mean? But this is sick. I love how this looks. The little gradient on the tables and the chair, this is a fun vibe. The only thing I don't like is the hospital white lights in here, making me feel like I'm at a medical asylum. The bar in Toronto uses this setup to demineralize tap water and remineralize it, because that's how that word sounds. Oh my God, remineralize. With different mineral levels to simulate tap water from around the world. And what do we have? What places do we have? Can we see? Assuming it's these 4 here, but I don't know which ones they are. They didn't really explain it, which I wish they did because that sounds very fascinating to me. I found the post and someone shared an article. So the bar is called Civil Works. And on the top floor is the Waterworks Food Hall. And the cocktails are all inspired by history. And an article about it reads as the following. Civil Works demineralizes Toronto tap water, rendering it completely neutral. Then remineralizes it with different levels of salt, magnesium, potassium, and other minerals to replicate water from different regions of the world. The idea is that a guest can drink a world-class spirit alongside its counterpart in world-class water. For example, a guest can order a Hibiki Harmony whiskey with sparkling Chichibu mountain water. Skeptics may be wary of the novelty, but it's more than a mere gimmick. The minerals interact with the spirits, bringing out different aromas and flavors to create whole new profiles. Currently, guests can sample dupes of water from Bardstown, the River Spey, the Chichibu Mountains, and Les Borderies, with or without a boozy sidecar. That is the most hipster I have ever heard, but I would be down. I would try that. It sounds fun. Like a tasting menu around the world. This is like some Epcot. The roots of this tree look like smooth stone. And oh my God, they do. Looks like they were mixed with concrete. What? Wait. What kind of tree is this? How does that? It does look like smooth stone. It looks like you've poured liquid cement onto the roots of this tree. So I found the tree. It's called a C-R-A-P-E, crap myrtle. And it's a genus of around 50 kinds of trees and shrubs. And apparently people hate these. At least in the Austin gardening subreddit, someone really hates them. Fascinating trees. I saw a vortex on my last flight. And okay, I found a video of it. You can see it much better here. Very polite for this vortex to have followed the arrows like that. You can actually see it form in real time. Like you're basically seeing the lift of the plane, like the way it's getting up there. Fascinating stuff. A common sight in the Netherlands. Water that is higher than the surrounding land. Yeah, it's a little higher, but that's okay because we're not flooded, so it's fine. Canadian government billboard ad in my city, Georgia, US. Tariffs are a tax on your grocery bill, paid for by the government of Canada. Just a constant reminder. A constant reminder of things to come, huh? Shout out Canada. Someone adorned a cactus with a bra. Oh, you know what? It helped them cover up a little bit. I'm sure it was getting chilly out there. Just making sure like, hey man, here's something for the girls. You know what I mean? He said, cover those up, dude. My local micro center honored a 27-year-old gift certificate. Oh, hell yeah. What year did this come out? $98. The white original of this gift certificate may be redeemed for merchandise or services. What was it, $75 too? Damn, you got a deal on that, man. Hell yeah. In my town in Denmark, there's little Vikings in the traffic lights. Well, that's nice. I feel like that, you know, if they tell you to stop, you're gonna stop, right? I certainly would. My dog always has her tongue out. She's just a happy girl. Look at her. She seems so happy to see you, dude. Of course she would. She's just silly like that. She doesn't have an upper right canine tooth, does she? Well, actually, she's missing all her teeth. It's a whole big story. Well, something happened, and now she can only eat soft foods, but now she looks silly all the time. Construction company covering neighborhood cars to keep them dust-free. Hey, hell yeah, that's a move, dude. That's very considerate. That's very considerate of the construction company. We need more stuff like that. That's so nice. Eggs from a farm nearby. Well, that's nice. All sorts of different colors, the range of colors for natural eggs. Dude, I really hope next time I move, I really hope that I live by someone who grows their own like eggs like this, like has their own chickens. Cause that nothing is better in a neighborhood than when you have neighbors like this where you can be like, hey man, can I buy a dozen eggs? You get them cheaper, they're better, they're just, oh, just a great experience. My son face planted on our bed and left behind an impression. That's a face of anguish that he left. He wasn't having a great time. The hair on the outside of my leg is thinning. Oh, yes it is. Why would that be? How would that happen? Is that, hold on, what? Okay, so I found the post. And I gotta be honest, this reply cracked me up so good, I simply had to share it. So, someone named Remember No Canadian says, probably from rubbing on jeans. That's what happened to me when I wore jeans less and it came back. And OP says, you're almost certainly right. Though for the past 4 years, I've worn loose-fitting painter's pants and the hair loss started around January. Crawling around on my hands and knees, masking and painting baseboards probably doesn't help, but why now? And then we're given an update. Today I learned that I, like millions of adults worldwide, suffer from terminal and incurable disease called fictional apalachia. I'm sure I said that wrong as well, by the way. I don't know why. I think they meant fictional alopecia, but they wrote Appalachia. Apparently, my habit of wearing skinny jeans on the weekend, work pants during the week, and of course, my assless chaps at night, gave me cancer and type 3 diabetes or something like that. I'm not reading carefully, I got a new puppy in the house. According to the leg hair loss specialist, I have like 1 to 70 good years left of me depending on my choices from here on out. New research that I've just conducted shows that 1 in 3 men will experience terminal FA in their lifetime. Please, show support to the person in your life who suffers from this awful and overlooked disease. Which is such a great bit of banter, because if you post anything like this on Reddit, there's always going to be some guy in the comments being like, yeah, so I am an expert and you're going to die now, like right now. It doesn't thin like this unless you're dying today. Though if we're being serious, it probably is some sort of like, I don't know, like leg alopecia where it's like centered around there or something. I don't know, the body's weird and there can be all sorts of weird things that happen. That's just my 2 cents of what it most likely might be. My kids' swing hooks after 4 years of use. Those things have worn down. You see that? You see they're starting to really, just the metal is eroding. Time to replace those hooks, dude. My maple syrup was secretly crystallizing. Oh, well look at that. That's kind of majestic, honestly. What do you do once the maple syrup crystallizes? How does it even, why was it crystallizing? Is it temperature? I mean, even, regardless, man, I kind of want to bite into it. I want to take a bite. The restroom sign at the M&M store. Hell yeah. What a fitting, honestly, well done. I would expect nothing less. Instant coffee apparently can mold. Gross. But I would kind of expect nothing less as well, right? I mean, it feels like about everything can mold. Did you leave this out in a humid environment? How'd it gain all that? Did you leave it open? Dad's work cleaned house and found a pigeon nest made mostly of welding wire. Because nature finds a way, dude. Oh, and it's got a little egg. Isn't that beautiful? There's a little egg there, dude. That's so sweet. 1 oddly shaped Advil in a bottle of 100. You always gotta find the weird one. I would argue that that's a normal looking Advil in a bottle of weirdly shaped ones. The pill shape looks a lot more normal than the circle to me. I feel like it's the other way around. Partygoer signatures from the 1940s in the basement of my century-year-old home. That's pretty dope. This is pretty sick. What? Oh, I would not clean this at all. This is so fascinating to me. So yeah, we got this guy, 1947, New Mexico, here I come. Oh man, imagine the lives lived here. What was this? Me, my first initiation to Morris's abode. Joan Wallace in 1950. Another one, who turned off the lights, from Donnie in 1948. Wow, that's pretty remarkable, dude. This is, I don't know, just me personally, I think this is awesome. I'm so fascinated by this. Just having that history there is so cool to me. What a cool find. My collection of odd pasta shapes. And what do we got? We got a shooting star. Looks like a carrot, a Christmas tree, a heart, a present, a pumpkin, a cat, a pumpkin, a witch, another heart, a pumpkin. This one's a jack-o'-lantern. It's different than a regular pumpkin. A leaf, an Easter egg, a bow, a spider, flowers, a bat. Looking for anything else I might have missed. We got another kind of cat here, a stocking. There's Hello Kitty down there. The skull and crossbones. I see the Santa. Yeah, you got a wide variety of pasta you've collected over the years. This is an endoscopy pill camera you swallow to record your intestinal tract. Oh, nice. And then you get all sorts of info out of that, huh? I would be interested in doing one of those to see what's going on in there, you know what I mean? Even if I didn't need to, I'd be interested. One of my Japanese soda marbles is blue. It's the leader, clearly. This is your mega mind of soda marbles, leading a trove of henchmen. It looks like. The shadow of this sign in my neighborhood is just painted on the sidewalk. I live close enough and I had to go there and find out the truth. You're all welcome, and a lot of you are r/confidently incorrect, and we get to see what they saw. Okay, so here's the picture. Now this looks like a straight up shadow, right? But when we look at the very next photo, it does appear a little lighter, but I'm willing to say this is painted. This looks like an overcast day. If you look at the rest of the things here, there's nothing else that's cast in a shadow. Like the trees aren't casting a shadow or anything like that. I'm willing, this seems like case closed. That's painted on. I found a spherical rock inside another rock, and he's just hanging out. It made a cool ass looking rock sculpture, right? Looks like he has a little eye. It's like a rock sperm whale, which is pretty neat. My measuring spoon is plastic, so the static made my onion powder spiky. That's pretty dope. Why are you putting onion powder in Chex Mix? I see what's in that bowl. What are you concocting? The squeaker inside my dog's toy comes with instructions to discard it. Game over. Your dog won. I mean, according to that pickle down there, yeah, I would say that pickle definitely is conceding to your dog winning as well. Time to go buy a new one. The amount of postage stamps that came on my package from China. God damn. Oh, let's see. Can I count how many there is here? I'm not going to try and count every single one. But that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Give me a second. I lied. I was going to count them all. I did it in post, just so that you didn't hear me counting every single one. But I think that's around 240 postage stamps on this thing from the top to the bottom of the box. That's about how many I counted. I could be wrong, but goddamn, that's a lot of postage. My Philips beard trimmer has Super Mario printed on the circuit board. Pretty fire. I don't know why it would, but that's pretty sick. Tan lines after wearing a temporary tattoo at beach. And let me guess, it's just, yeah, I like that you wore the temporary tattoo. They make it look like you had some cool tats, but now you got just the tan line there until you go get a tan to even it out, which might be cooler. Who knows? Got tipped $80 in ones. Someone had to let go of all the ones. That's a free 80. You know what? Not free. You had to do the work for it. You know what I mean? That's $80 you wouldn't otherwise have. I'd take it. This tomato had healed over love message put in it from the farm. Oh, is that Ti amo? I think that says Ti amo. That's sweet. That's so adorable. Love messages in the fruit. Wow. A crocodile made of towels left by the hotel staff. And that's creative. And they even left, look at that. They even left some like wipes in there for you too. That's so considerate of them. The towel dial with the wipes. Just for you. 5-star service. Oh boy. Well, now we know that your Boyfriend's got the immune system of a small Victorian child. Congratulations. This guy, measles would ruin this man's life. My daughter's allergy panel looked like that. She wasn't allergic to a single thing. She has a histamine problem where her body overproduces in response to irritation. Okay, so it could be the opposite then. My grandpa's blood alcohol calculator. Oh, here we go, the drink and drive calculator. Are you God's favorite pilot? Set number of drinks, 1 ounce 86 proof alcohol or approximately 12 ounces beer to your body weight. Read percentage blood alcohol arrow in top window. Red indicates the danger zone, otherwise known as the fun part. If more than 1 hour is spent in drinking, see lower window. And if you're over 260 pounds, you're f***ed because it only goes up that far. This is so interesting. I would have never seen. You think they used these, or was this just like an encouragement, like something to have to like pretend that you were following the rules? Well, if I'm drinking, I don't see myself ever properly using a device like this. The women's bathroom requires a code to get in, but the men's bathroom does not. That's because the men's bathroom was where the animals live, where all the fucking primordial creatures go to gather and learn what a sink is. We're trying to keep the civilized bathrooms nice, so we gotta put locks on them where, you know, people... where rock and stick are not, common law there. My plate has a bruise where it's chipped. Oh, hey, it's gonna be listen, a bruise can heal, but that chip will never go away unless you gotta do some cosmetic work on that thing. But, it's just a little bruise, it'll be okay. This wiring job in a public car park. Oh, wow. Someone really cared, someone really gave a damn. You see that? When you really give a damn about what you're doing, this is how it can look. This is nice. This is real nice stuff. I like this. This makes me, warm, tingly even. This really cute caution sign. Aw, caution, icy. Walk like a penguin. But the trick, the gag is that the road's not icy at all. I know that's snow there, but just follow my thinking here, okay? A goofball placed this sign down, and it's an adorable sign. But he just wanted to see all you common folk walk like penguins for his own laugh. Found cleaning an apartment. iPod Nano and 15-year-old bag of weed. Damn. Oh, that's not even weed anymore. That's not even a drug. That's a fucking micro environment. The kind of bacteria and microbes living in there are undiscovered. Man has never seen these kinds of things before. Put that under a microscope. Try to communicate with it. My very old tea towel perfectly, what is this word? Concertinas itself every time I wash and dry it. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it becomes a little like those little fans. It just gets nice and curly, like wavy. Ain't that nice? Why would that be? Is it just how the fibers are? Is it just how those fibers be? This device to detect if a crack widens. Oh, I see. So what's the deal here? What do we got going on? I'm gonna try and zoom in. We have where the crack may have started, like there's the center point, right? And we're looking maybe to see, I would guess that the grid there, we're just looking to see if it grows any further, right? I feel like you could do this by eye, but you know what? I'm not gonna hate. There is a 3-legged deer that lives near me, and he's just hanging out. Wild animals in nature, they are sturdy. They are so sturdy. And I'm gonna say it seems like deer in particular, because I've seen, I've unfortunately seen, instances where, a deer is running through a highway and a car just, it just happens so fast and the deer flies into the field. And it gets up and it's like, fuck, and it runs away. I've seen her around for the past few years, but this is the first time I've been able to get a picture. Earlier this year, I saw 2 fawns following her around every time I caught a glimpse. So she seems very healthy despite her disability. I'm rooting for her. Seeing her on my commute home is always one of the high points of my day. She's got disability to raise a couple fawns. No disability, she's got disability. She's raising a whole family, bro. Dillon, Colorado elevation causing ice cream containers to open. What? I didn't know that. Is it like a pressure thing? What's going on there? That's fascinating. And also $5.99 for ice cream. You can go f yourself, pal. I've lived in northern Colorado for my whole life. I thought I was normal for yogurt to release pressure when you open it. There's a joke somewhere in there. Talking about yogurt releasing from pressure, huh? And then we had company visiting from sea level. They were amazed that everything is about to explode, like chips and stuff, because it's just the elevation's too high. They're like, God damn, you know? They're reaching critical pressure capacity. Arg, she blows, dude. The bag says the picture is enlarged, but it's the same size as the actual gummy. Oh wow, it's just a little bit larger. See how like it's like the edges of the gummy, you know? But hey, now you know you're getting a good deal, right? I don't mind a big gummy. I'm a fan of that. I wouldn't complain about this personally. Maybe it's not a complaint. Maybe it's an observation. Went to IKEA and all signs for hot dogs there called them glizzies. Get your glizzies to go. Well, let's be clear here. Glizzy is just on one sign. All right. I don't know. I don't know why you're saying that everything was called glizzy instead of hot dog. But if you look here, sorry. What am I not understanding here about the tiers here? Novice, 50-cent hot dog, which is kind of crazy. 50 cents for a hot dog is kind of bizarre. 3 hot dogs for $1.50, and that's the beginner level. At advanced, you're scarfing down 10 wieners. All right. At expert, you're forking down 25 beef franks. And if you eat in under 10 minutes, literally the new record holder, the new world record holder, please be careful, 86 glizzies. You'd be the glizzy guzzler for the low price of $43 with IKEA family. Because here, you're family. My girlfriend's work has spherical hash browns. Well, that's nice. They're almost like hush puppies, right? Of course, the key difference being hush puppies are like cornmeal, right? It's like a cornmeal batter. But, you know, they're hush puppy shaped, which is, you know, close enough. NYPD used to own the iPod I just bought. Oh no. What song do you think is on there? Just the theme song to Cops? Just the ambiance of a Krispy Kreme? What sounds do you think the Cops have on their playlist? What's their profiling music? Cat litter cake my coworker made for Halloween. Oh no. Okay, yeah. That is a very accurate looking cake for cat litter. You know, well done, dude. Fucking yucky. Actually gross. You've accomplished your goal. Now get out of my house. The McDonald's near me almost always folds their boxes inside out. Because they want to surprise you, you know? Sometimes they're hoping you forgot what you ordered. That way when you pop open the clamshell lid, you're like, I did get a crispy I did get a McCrispy, wow. You know, it's just for fun. My middle fingernails have always curled more than my other nails. Oh yeah, no, that's a little claw that you got, a little talon you have in the middle of all your other nails there. Is that just, why would that be? Why might that be? I'm pretty sure this is just like a genetic thing, like how your nail bed and nail grows. I don't think it's like any sort of like cause for concern, you know? Like I'm sure someone might see this and be like, your hands are clubbing, but no, I don't think that that's what's going on here. I think this is just a genetic thing. New York City parks now have bins specifically for empty pizza boxes. They have everything in the Big Apple. And finally, as you think it'd be, you know, it would have come sooner. We got the empty pizza box trash bin. Thing gets full in a day. In a day, it gets full. What are they using all that cardboard for, you might be thinking? Big ass box for it. I got consecutive order numbers 1 day apart. Let's see, we got, 1342. What did you get? What do you eat? Now I'm curious. This is your local McDonald's. You got the crispy chicken biscuit with a hash brown and a southern style sweet tea, classic choice. Oh, you got a regular ass meal. You know exactly what you like, and you paid in cash twice. You're going inside the McDonald's for it, man. Better fill out those surveys with your regular order. Burger chain using pasta straws. Not sure I've ever heard of a pasta straw. Oh, it's like straight up just a straw that's made of, okay. I can see the practicality, but I would feel weird drinking out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand this is like a good way to reduce waste because plastic straws and, you know, recycling and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if I could get acclimated to that. Just give me a spoon. This looks like a milkshake anyway. Was chewing a mussel and I found a pearl in it. It's one hell of a lucky mussel. Oh, and it's just a little baby. Did you find that while you were chewing? That's gotta be the worst thing, right? feel something hard, and I don't like seafood really at all. It's just a texture thing for me. I wouldn't be caught dead chewing on a mussel. But finding a pearl, that's like finding the prize in the cereal box, right? That's fun. My new pen has a 4 GB USB built into its cap. That's fascinating. I wonder for what purpose would this be used for? I mean, I like them, you know, maybe I can, okay, you know what? I'm being a hater. We need more stuff like this. We need more multifunctional devices like this. I approve. Pigeon built its nest on anti-pigeon spikes. You can't keep a good bird down, they say. And look at that. Defiant as ever. You think these anti-bird spikes are gonna keep him down? Absolutely not. He defies the establishment, builds his nest on top of it. Now his home is also conveying one badass message, if I do say so myself. I can't make popcorn in my hotel room microwave per the fire department. Was there a popcorn related accident? Please no popcorn in microwave per local fire department. We apologize for any inconvenience. There was a popcorn related incident here. And they have barred microwavable popcorn from the entire hotel. So you gotta ask about the history there. There's a story behind that sticker. I spilled white queso on my pants last night, and this morning it's bright orange. Gross. Why might that happen? Hold on, now I gotta research. All right, so the post this is from has a lot of conflicting answers, so I'm gonna have to kind of guess what I think is going on here. Based on the jar, this is a medium spice queso, which with Tostitos just means there's a slight kick. Maybe it's the acidity there. It could be the way the cheese oxidized. It could be anything, right? There's a lot of things there that could be, you know, I'm thinking that maybe it's like an acidic thing from the peppers inside the queso. I would have to assume, right? I don't know what else it could be from there. This large pile of radishes I saw at the farmer's market. An appropriate place to see radishes, if I do say so myself, but what a large pile that is. That I think that is the largest collection of radishes I've ever seen in one place, now that I think about it. What a proud radish farmer has presented to you their wares. Do you partake in their delicacies? Yes or yes. This rock that sort of looks like a hamburger. Rock burger. This looks like those McDonald's hamburgers that they will like put in like resin and it just doesn't like rot away, you know what I mean? This is one like McDonald's cheeseburger that was ordered in like 1990 that just has never, it has never decayed away. It just looks like this permanently. My roses from Valentine's Day have grown leaves and stopped drying up. Oh, well, would you look at that? It's you know, you've kept them, you've taken really good care of them. That's what this shows, that you're taking fantastic care of the roses that were gifted to you on such a special day. Hotel breakfast has white pepper and black salt, because everyone's got to have a gimmick. Black sea salt and white pepper. Oh, and it's telling you what it's for. That's beautiful. So the white pepper is great in light sauces, cream soups, potato dishes, or salad dressings. But the black sea salt, use that to top off your salads, meats, and sauces to make them visually distinct. Ain't that something? This is just like being like a bit of a nerd with cooking food. I would love to own this just to like test with different aesthetics visually with cooking. I'm sure it doesn't do all that much, right? But I don't know. I'm a big fan of white pepper, especially in like certain sauces. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of that. All the samples I got from going to the largest dermatology conference in the world. Holy shit. That's actually nuts. This has got to be the benefit to going to one of these conferences, right? Are these all free samples? Are you benefiting? Like, are you going to like the CeraVe booth and they're like, here, have a free sample? Because that would be clutch. Like, if these were all free of charge, this was a worthwhile trip. And that's all that's on my mind. Slug on our wall has a red triangle on its back. That's never good. Wait, what the Yeah, wait, what's going on with this? So it turns out this is called the red triangle slug, which, you know, I don't know why they would call it that. Maybe something to do with it being a slug of some sort. This is an Australian creature, which of course, the strange thing exists in Australia. And it's also, fun fact, Australia's largest native land slug. I've never have heard of these ever in my life. It looks like the triangle almost looks like they got like a piece of flesh ripped off. It's very concerning to look at, but that's just how they live. That triangle, it's to distinguish them from the other non-red triangle slugs that are around in Australia just kicking about. You know, you got to stand out in the crowd in some way. This restaurant does not accept tips in the US of A. That's interesting. Here we go. So what did you buy? Oh, okay. So you got like this is like a sushi joint, right? Got a couple rounds of scallops, some shrimp, some eel, some yellowtail. All right. You spent a total of $103 with a 16% fee. State tax for a total of $131. So gratuity is probably included. They're a no tipping restaurant because they're probably paying. Well, gratuity would mean like the tip is included in the thing. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is the staff is likely well taken care of if they're a no tipping establishment, right? You would hope. 16% fee is the tips. Okay, so it's probably, maybe I'm right then. Maybe it's the gratuity fee, right? I would have to assume that maybe that's what that is then. Someone from Los Angeles, California sent me a postcard in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, reminding me to vote in my own upcoming Wisconsin election. Hey, is this Sean? Thank you for being a voter. When will you vote in the April 1st election? Please plan ahead. From Paul. And you know, Paul's just, he's active in the community from Los Angeles all the way to Wisconsin. He's making sure everyone's getting their votes in. You don't want to be caught with your pants down in the election. All of a sudden you didn't vote. Now you got someone in office you didn't want. That's why it's important to participate in your local elections. I like this guy. I like also that he used a different colored ink in his letter to, like, you know, highlight what he wanted to get across. This guy's a thinker. I like him. I like this guy quite a bit.